And good afternoon, and welcome into Stuart Field here on the south side of Chicago, where today we have the quarterfinal match in the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Women's Soccer Tournament. Hello, everyone. This is Eric Willowhite, the Sports Information Director for Illinois Tech Athletic, and the Scarlet Hawks, the number 1 seed, will be hosting the number 8 seed, Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors, here in this quarterfinal match. Let's bring you up to date on both of these teams. First, for the visiting Warriors, coming in with a record of 7-6-3 overall. They were 4-5-3 in conference. Away from Wisconsin Lutheran. In conference, they were 2-3-1, 3-4-1 overall. The Warriors are 0-8 lifetime against the Scarlet Hawks. However, that last game up in Milwaukee was a 2-0 victory for Illinois Tech, but it was a very tight game. A goal in the first half and a goal in the second half for the Scarlet Hawks, but there was a lot of no scoring in between, and the Warriors were able to clamp down on that high-flying Illinois Tech offense. For Illinois Tech, they come in with a record of 16-1-1 overall, 12-0 in conference. They ran the table this year. 9-0-1 at home. They have not lost at home. They did have a tie against Hope early in the season, early September. They, again, 6-0 in home conference matches. We talked about the Hawks with an 8-0 record lifetime against Wisconsin Lutheran. These two teams met last year in the conference tournament in the opening round. That was a 9-0 victory for Illinois Tech. I do not expect that to be the case today. Wisconsin Lutheran has done a really nice job defensively from last year to this year. And Coach Matt Isold's team. Last year, they averaged 2.17 goals per game. This year, they cut that down to 1.31. So they allowed 39 goals last year, only 21 this year so far, heading into today's game. Also, they cut down on the shots against. 13.9 average shots against for their opponents last year. This year they cut that down to 9.9. The Warriors' offense was pretty much the same this year. 2.19 goals scored. Last year 2.28, so a minor tick down. But the shots were the same for the Warriors. 15.3 shots per game this year, 15.3 shots per game last year. For the Scarlet Hawks, let's go over their numbers. They actually improved over last year, and last year was a historic season for the Hawks, but they're actually better in every category. They scored 4.12 goals per game last season. This year it's up to 4.50. They allowed 0.72 goals per game last year. It's down to 0.44 this season. The Scarlet Hawks are out shooting their pace last year. Last year they shot 23.3 shots per game. This year it's 24.6. And opponents' shots against have gone down. 4.9 shots against last year, 4.4 this year. And again, we talked about this 8-0 record for Illinois Tech over the Warriors. Over those 8 games, the Scarlet Hawks have outscored Wisconsin Lutheran 50-1. So that's a huge difference. But again, this Warriors team is much different than those teams in the past. They have a little firepower, but defensively is where they make their hay. And they hope that the team will be able to clamp down on this game. Can't hear there? On the TV? What are you talking about? The PA?
Starting lineups for today's contest. First, for the visiting Warriors. A senior forward from New Berlin, Wisconsin, number 2, Brooke Bloom. A junior defender from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, number 3, Anna Rook.
Let's go over our lineups for both teams. You can kind of hear that in the back in the PA. For the Warriors, Brooke Bloom, Anna Ruckty, Tegan O'Neill, Ginny Shade, Emma Adama, Elena Zastrow, Sophie Canas, Peyton Schiebel, Ava Colliard, Ava Zarling, and Sam Schrader in net for the Warriors. And for Illinois Tech, here are your starters.
Kayla Hampton, Duval, Washington.
Lena Yanara, Geneva, Illinois.
Mary Frampton, Seattle, Washington.
Gabriella Baltus, Plymouth, Minnesota.
Grace Yeager, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Allie Murray, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hannah Ramos, Tucson, Arizona.
Kelly Hitchcock, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Twessa Valdilia, Saratoga, California.
Kayla Thomas, Helsingborg, Sweden.
Kayla Smith, Redmond, Washington.
All right, our national anthem will be ready to go here shortly. So you saw the starting lineups. Kayla Hampton in net for the Scarlet Hawks, the junior transfer from Duval, Washington. She hasn't faced a whole lot of traction or traffic in this season, as the Scarlet Hawks offense has kind of held the day for most games this season, aside from that 5-1 loss at U Chicago and then the 2-2 tie at home here against Hope. Aside from that, she hasn't seen a whole lot of traffic. Hawks have only allowed 8 goals all season. In net for the Warriors, again, Sam Schrader, sophomore out of Brookfield, Wisconsin. She will take care of the netminder duties today. So just something to look at. Don't know if it means anything, but obviously Schrader has seen more traffic and shots than Kayla Hampton. But in order for the Warriors to take advantage of that, they have to be able to put the ball on net. So we'll see if they're able to do that. The Warriors will start with possession as we get ready for this quarterfinal match on this late Sunday afternoon here on the south side of Chicago. Glad you can join us in this NACC women's soccer quarterfinal match. And we're underway. Wisconsin Lutheran in their road green, white numerals and trim. Goalkeeper Sam Schrader with a sort of like an aqua blue jersey going on over there. Illinois Tech in all red with white trim. I think there's actually a little gold outline on the numbers. It's hard, you can't really see it on TV, but that is the case. And then goalkeeper Kayla Hampton in gold. Here's Hannah Ramos, brings the ball up over midfield, gets it over to Devesa Vathalia. Her pass, I think a miscommunication there between her and Kelly Hitchcock, but Yeager and the Hawks look to regain possession. They do. Vathalia misses the connection there with Hitchcock, but Ramos is there for support. Inside to Hitchcock. Tap over to Ramos. Ramos cutting in, shooting, and an early goal for the Hawks. Hannah Ramos from Kelly Hitchcock. The Hawks up 1-0.
Scarlet Hawk goal scored by number 8, Hannah Ramos, assisted by number 10, Kelly Hitchcock.
So the Hawks with an early 1-0 lead, 43-55, so minute 5 into the match. And the Hawks are on the board. That was nice play. And again, a lot of that was set up, some of the plays that you don't really talk about, but Grace Yeager coming up along the near sideline here and keeping that ball in play and then maintaining possession. That's what started that offensive rush as the Warriors looked to have that one cleared, but Yeager was able to bring that ball, keep it in the zone, and continue to put on pressure. So that won't show in the score sheet, but without that play, the Hawks don't get that goal. So the first-year defender continues to make an impact. And the conference awards are going to be coming out this week, and the Hawks should have a strong contingent as they did last year. And you wonder, the Hawks have some great first-year players. Now here's Hitchcock splitting the seam, getting it over to Kayla Smith, shoots, and she scores! Another assist for Hitchcock and a goal for Kayla Smith. So Kayla Smith, the senior, gets the goal. And puts the Hawks out front, 2-0. Kayla Smith on the season coming into this game, 12 goals and 9 assists for 33 points. She was the team's leading scorer. And again, you see that in action here. Now Vathalia goes down. Ball knocked out of bounds by Yeager. That'll be a throw-in for the Warriors, and coming over to take care of that will be Anna Ruckty. So quick 2-0 lead for Illinois Tech, and not where the Warriors wanted to be this early in the match. So they're going to have to clamp down here. Again, we talked about that game at Wisconsin Lutheran earlier in the season. It was only a 2-0 win for the Hawks. Now, they had the better of play, but the Warriors definitely frustrated the Hawks, only allowing them to get 2 tallies. So it was a good effort by the Warriors, as we talked about. They've really improved their defensive play. Bathalia with the cross, trying to get it over to Smith. Smith tries to settle it down, and a save there made by Schrader, and then the ball goes over the back line, and that'll be a goal kick for the Warriors. Boy, Kayla Smith right in, and Schrader coming out to challenge, and she was able to nullify Smith, keep this a 2-goal deficit. Going down by 3, definitely not something the Warriors were looking to do there, so great play by Schrader. Hawks inside the zone. Kayla Thomas rings it over to Hitchcock. Hitchcock taps it to Grace Yeager. Grace Yeager cuts to the top of the box. Taps it forward, trying to get it to Vathalia. Ball is loose. Shot! And Schrader makes the save. Ball is still loose, and Schrader falls on it. Back-to-back nice plays by Schrader. Hawks offense continuing to press, but Schrader's come up strong. A nice back heel pass there from the Warriors to get it into the Hawks zone. Gabby Baltez picks that up. Serves it over to Kayla Hampton, who gets it immediately back to Baltez. And we're talking about the awards. Hawks, 3 really strong freshmen who've made an impact this season as Kayla Smith comes inside the box. Crossing attempt blocked. She gets the ball back, and now she'll fan it out wide to Hitchcock. Hitchcock dancing on that back line, trying to get it in the box. That's cleared out of there. That'll be a throw-in for Grace Yeager and the Hawks. But Tavessa Vathalia, Grace Yeager we talked about, and in addition to that, Taylor Hernandez. So those 3 first-year players have really had an impact on this Scarlet Hawks team this season. But they might have split things up so much that they may not qualify. I'm not going to say qualifies. Hitchcock shoots and scores. What an effort by Hitchcock. Might be an assist for Vathalia on that.
Scarlet Hawk goal scored by number 10, Kelly Hitchcock. Assist to number 25, Marcel Vathalia.
So Tavessa Vathalia gets the assist. That is a goal and 2 assists for Kelly Hitchcock, the graduate student forward / midfielder who missed last season recovering from an injury, and she missed that historic run. Obviously, she was there with the team the whole time, but it has to be sweet for Hitchcock to have an immediate impact here in her first tournament game in a couple years. She had to go through a couple of those tough seasons where the Hawks were runners-up. Here's Kayla Smith trying to feed that one inside to Ramos. Warriors snuffed that one out, but Smith gets the ball back. Now they go wide. Here's Grace Yeager. She's going to stop it near that back line. Brings it forward, punched out by the Warriors for a throw-in. Anyways, long story short, on awards, will the Hawks 3 freshmen kind of split votes and leave that open for someone else within the NACC for freshman player of the year? The Hawks definitely have a shot with offensive player of the year and Kayla Smith. Also, 2-time defensive player of the year, Gabriella Baltez, could make it 3 years in a row. We shall see. But again, those are the individual awards. Those will be, I believe those are going to be published and released later this week from the NACC office. Play along the near sideline. Yeager kicks it into Warriors territory, or deeper into Warriors territory, but pulling it out of there is Ava Zarling. Zarling to Adema. Now Baltez over to Mary Frampton. Lena Yonahara to Vesa Valthalia, trying to get it back to Yonahara, but picked off by Adema. Into the circle they go. Now Allie Murray. Get it back to Yonahara, who crosses the midfield stripe. Yonahara has Kayla Thomas. Thomas stops, cuts to the inside. Goes back up high to Frampton. Frampton with a little space in front of her will roll it back to Thomas. Now Thomas will get the ball in play. Thomas splits a pair of defenders. Kayla Thomas coming in, shooting! And that one might have gone wide, but not taking a chance was Schrader, as she was able to corral that one. Nice individual effort by Kayla Thomas, knifing through a pair of defenders, trying to get the Hawks' 4th goal of the match. But so far, 3-0. Goals by Ramos, Hannah Ramos, Kayla Smith, and Kelly Hitchcock. Hitchcock with a pair of assists, and then Tavessa Valthalia on the assist on the Hitchcock goal. Smith, crosser to the box, header by Hitchcock. That one hit the left post as Schrader dove for it. Goalkeeper's best friend, sometimes the medal. Nice job, Hitchcock, though, getting a piece of that one on the cross from Kayla Smith. Throw in by Ruckty. Hawks and Hitchcock looked to take possession, but fending off Hitchcock was Peyton Schiebel. And now the Warriors push it deep into Hawks territory, but that'll roll out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Illinois Tech. Grace Yeager will take the throw. A little windy here on the south side. Temperature in the low to mid 50s, but with that breeze, a little cooler than that. Sun will be going down obviously sooner with the time change last night, or this morning. Kayla Smith trying to feed it inside to Kayla Thomas. That one's going to roll over the back line for a goal kick for Wisconsin Lutheran. 34-45 to go in the opening period. Opening half. 3-0 Illinois Tech. Yeah, the Hawks getting a goal a minute 5 into the match. Hannah Ramos, nice give and go between her and Kelly Hitchcock. The give from Ramos to Hitchcock, and the go from Hitchcock to Ramos. And Ramos put it in the back of the net for that early 1-0 lead. The Hawks added a pair since then. Ball kicked up to the midfield stripe. Frampton is there. She'll push it through the circle where Yonahara will take it and bring it upfield. Yonahara's long pass finds Tavathalia. Tavessa cuts to the inside. Chipping it into the box to Smith. Knocked out of there, however. Another nice defensive play by Anna Ruckty. She's made a few there. Trying to ward off Kayla Smith, who's always lurking around that net for the Hawks. That one goes over the back line, and looks like we'll have our first corner kick. Kayla Smith will take it in that near corner. They'll just set it up to Yeager. Yeager chipping it into the box. Ball is knocked out of there by the Warriors, but headed back up by Yonahara. Still in the air. Now Yeager tries to settle it down. Chip shot over a defender, tried to get it inside the box. Ball still in play here. Now Kayla Smith. Hawks will look to regroup, drop it up to the center circle where Baltez will take it. Now Yonahara on the far side. Yonahara to Thomas. Thomas trying to race around the corner, cuts back upfield to Yonahara. Murray to Ramos, back to Murray. Trying to feed it inside. Not sure who the intended recipient was there. Might have been for Vathalia, who's playing on the ball right now. And then Ramos will drop it back to Yonahara. Here's Hitchcock. Hitchcock to Yeager. Yeager trying to chip it through pair of defenders, but blocking that one was Schiebel. Then punched upfield by Zastrow. The Hawks keep it in, however. Ramos up high to Grace Yeager. Yeager with some room. Vathalia. Murray. Now the Hawks will change sides, move it over to the far side, and Frampton. Frampton stutter step, then gives it over to Thomas. Now Frampton will chip it towards the box. Oh, missed clear, but got enough on it to tick it forward. Yeager bats it down. Chip to Smith, but knocked out of there once again by Anna Ruckty. So the Warriors have kind of settled things down here, even though the ball's been in their end. They've kind of keeping the Hawks out on the perimeter for now. Now the Warriors just need to figure out how to get their offense in track. Cut into this 3-0 deficit. Hitchcock to Frampton. Yonahara back to Frampton. Back to Yonahara up along the far sideline. Vathalia stops it, chips it towards Ramos. Ramos across to Yeager. Yeager looking to get free. Oh, nice through ball trying to get it into Thomas, but Thomas was being warded off there. I think that was Tegan O'Neill who was applying the pressure, just wasn't allowing Thomas to get into that through ball, and the Warriors were able to clear. Back to Yeager for the Hawks. Now Baltez. Up to Vathalia. Chipped, however. That's going to go out of bounds for a throw-in off the foot of Ginny Shade. Yeager will move down to take the throw. It goes out of bounds. That'll continue to be Hawks ball around that near corner. Throwing attempt was headed out of there. Murray tries to head it. She does. Hitchcock to Murray. Murray change sides. They'll go to the far side with Frampton. Another pass to Thomas. Cuts inside. Thomas chipping it on net. That's an easy save made for Schrader. Sam Schrader, the sophomore goalkeeper. Brookfield, Wisconsin. Hitchcock will find Murray up high. Now Yeager. Yeager, Yeager and Hitchcock weren't on the same page there. Hitchcock was sending it over to that near sideline thinking Yeager was going to continue forward. She did not. Ball goes out of bounds. Throw in for the Warriors. Yeager intercepts. Now to Hitchcock. Into the circle. There's Frampton. Hawks immediately changing direction, trying to get a quick transition. Here's Kayla Thomas. Thomas spinning around a defender. Punched over the back line. That'll be a corner for the Hawks in the far corner now. It'll be Kayla Smith to take the corner again. The usual suspects going towards the net. You see Gabby Baltez down there, Grace Yeager, Kelly Hitchcock, and Tavessa Vathalia. Up high is Kayla Thomas. Kick on the way, low line drive. That's headed out of there by Ginny Shade. And then the Warriors will knock it out along the far sideline, throw in for Yonahara and the Hawks. 27-31 remaining in the first half. 3-0 lead for Illinois Tech. Yonahara. Now Frampton comes in, but the ball is punched out of bounds. It'll be Illinois Tech throw. Yonahara spins around Zastro, cuts the ball into Ramos. Warriors clear it out of the box for now, and it goes out of bounds. That'll be a Warriors throw. First substitution of the game coming in for the Warriors is Ellie Erickson, and she will replace Peyton Schiebel. So Erickson for Schiebel as our first substitution of the match, coming at 26-24. One goes out of bounds. Here come the Hawks inside the zone. Chipping it in the box. Oh, save made off the shot from Kayla Smith. Schrader was down and somehow was able to keep that one out of the net as she was falling down on the shot by Kayla Smith. And now the Warriors look to bring it upfield. They get that ball inside the Hawks zone. Brooke Bloom. And they're going to get a foul, I guess, on Bloom against Gabriella Baltez. Had a chance to watch the preview video, the match preview video that Wisconsin Lutheran had on their website interviewing Coach Matt Isold, and he mentioned 2 or 3 players to kind of keep an eye on for the Warriors. One of them was Brooke Bloom, senior, as Smith along the back line, cross inside the zone. Oh, ball can't clear. We'll hold on that thought for the moment. Well, it's some dangerous opportunities there for the Hawks, but the Warriors eventually able to clear. So kind of the X factor, the question was who could be an X factor, and Coach Matt Isold talked about Brooke Bloom being a senior and, kind of wanting to go out, let's say it like a blaze of glory, but put up best effort. Here's Kelly Hitchcock. Ball traveled away from her, and now the Warriors look to clear. Grace Yeager is going to keep it inside. Also, Brooke has her sister Morgan on the team, so this will be the last time she'll be able to play on the team with her sister if they don't advance. So just a little extra motivation. So talked about Brooke Bloom being an X factor. Chip, save made by Schrader. She's made quite a few of them here after that third goal. Schrader was another one of the players that Coach Isold had kind of talked about in that interview, previewing the match. Nice give and go. Here's Tavessa Vathalia. Shot, and Schrader, I believe, did get a piece of that one, guided it out. Good effort there by Sam Schrader. Again, you can tell why Coach Isold speaks highly of the sophomore goalkeeper. Another corner kick for the Hawks, however. Here comes Grace Yeager in, and that's where the ball's going to go from Kayla Smith. Now Yeager will chip it towards the box high. Murray tried to head it, but was unable to. The Warriors look to push it upfield, and they will. There's Brooke Bloom. Bloom trying to take it wide, but Frampton knocks it out. It'll be a throw-in for the Warriors. Other player Coach Isold talked about was Aubrey Cook, who is not in the starting lineup. See if she gets in here in this game. Not sure what her status is for this game, but that is a player that they discussed during that preview video on the Warriors website. Here's Smith along the near sideline, trading places there with Hitchcock. Now to Vathalia to Hitchcock. She's being double teamed. She'll bring it forward. Tap from Murray to Ramos. Go wide to Yona Hara. Yona Hara looks to set this one up to Kayla Thomas. Thomas spins, moves upfield, back to Yona Hara. Now to Ramos. Ramos bringing it inside. Pair of defenders met her there, and then the Warriors look to clear it out of the box, but it's put back in. Here's Kayla Thomas. Thomas racing towards that back line, but it'll go out, and that'll be a goal kick for the Warriors. We're coming up on 21 minutes remaining in the opening half. Schrader will just set it in play to Ruckty. Gets that ball around Kayla Smith. Smith knocks it out. It'll still be Warriors ball. Smith to Ramos. Over to Yeager. Yeager along the back line. Cross. Intercepted. Good effort. Tegan O'Neill getting in that one. Now Hitchcock tries to keep it inside the zone. Baltez is there for support. Gets it to Kayla Smith. Smith to Vathalia. Now Allie Murray. Murray into Thomas. Kayla Thomas stops, spins. Good defensive play there by the Warriors. I think that was Sophie Canas not allowing Kayla Thomas to slip by her. Did a good job fronting her on that last play. And a pair of substitutions coming in for the Warriors. The next opportunity. Here's Kelly Hitchcock. Feeding it into Smith. Smith taps it into net, but they're going to be whistled. So no goal there. And for the Hawks, pair of substitutions getting ready to come in. First time in a while will be Eva Narvarte along with Avery Seeley for the Hawks. For the Warriors, Emily Comaris. Can't get the other number just yet. Here's Grace Yeager inside the zone, trying to feed that one to Hitchcock. The ball eventually gets there. Now Ramos taps it to Yona Hara. Yona Hara inside the box to Hitchcock. Knocks it down, scores! So Hitchcock from Yona Hara. And the Hawks go up 4-0. So 2 goals for Hitchcock, 2 assists for Hitchcock. She's factored in every score, and she'll come out along with Tavessa Vathalia. And coming in for the Hawks is Avery Seeley and Eva Narvarte, who's been in and out of the lineup due to injury, but she's back here in this quarterfinal match. Coming in for the Warriors, number 16, Emily Comaris, and number 18, Julia Ash, replacing Ava Colliard and Ava Zarling. Not for anything, but the Warriors with 2 Avas. The Hawks have an Eva and an Eva and an Avery. So there you have it. Here's Eva Narvarte inside to Seeley. Seeley trying to slow that one down, feeding it into the box. Warriors push it out of the way for the moment. Smith will track it down as it rolls out of bounds. More subs coming in for Illinois Tech. Annika Torbenson replacing Grace Yeager, and then coming in for Kayla Thomas, another one of the freshmen we talked about for the Hawks, Taylor Hernandez. So Hernandez in, and Torbenson with 17 and a half minutes remaining in the opening half. 4-0 lead for Illinois Tech. Here's Narvarte. Finds Torbenson. Back to Narvarte, feeding Kayla Smith. Smith will let it settle in that near corner. Toe drag, move it along the back line. Another nice defensive play by Ruckty. And now Torbenson looks to keep it in to Smith, to Narvarte. Eva Narvarte. Over to Ramos, swinging it wide. That's going to go out of play, unable to make connection there with Taylor Hernandez. Another substitution queuing up for the Warriors is Gabriella Fargan. And Fargan will get in now and will replace, looks like she is going to replace Brooke Bloom here in the first half. 16:26 to go. 4-0 Illinois Tech. Pair of goals from Kelly Hitchcock, a pair of assists from Kelly Hitchcock. The other goals, one by Hannah Ramos, the opening goal, and then Kayla Smith, the other. Another substitution for the Warriors now. Coming in is Jolie Blahnik. Blahnik for Emma Adama. So Coach Isold getting in substitutions here. The latter half of the opening half. Warriors looking to get something inside Hawks territory. But the Hawks continue to dominate possession. Here's Kayla Smith just cutting through ball up front. There's Narvarte trying to feed Seeley, crosses in front of Hernandez. Rolling towards that back line, it'll go out. It'll be a goal kick for the Warriors. But Taylor Hernandez sniffing that net. She is always around the box when number 11 is out on the pitch for the Scarlet Hawks. She's had a great first year. Warriors turn over to Ramos. Lutheran tries to push it through the middle. Torbenson tracks it down. A little give and go between Smith and Torbenson was denied by the Warriors. And they'll settle that ball back over on the far side. Chip, that goes over the head of Fargan. Tracked down by Baltez, who will get it back from her center back partner, Mary Frampton. Here's Kayla Smith. Hawks had the luxury in their center back position. Well, they have a lot of depth, obviously. You can't get to where they are in the conference without having some of that depth. But Frampton started the season on the shelf, and Liliana Schuth took over that position. the right back position, or center back, I should say, and covered that spot very well. And then as Frampton got healthy, unfortunately, Schuth suffered an injury, so Frampton has taken back over that spot, one that she held the previous couple seasons. But with Frampton out, they didn't skip a beat as Schuth played solid. And with Frampton in her senior year, Schuth hopefully looking to get back into that spot next year. But it's an example of some of that depth the Scarlet Hawks have had. They're able to overcome some of those injuries, overcome some of the injuries they had of a Narvarte, who's been out most of the season. You know, we talked about some of the first-year players being able to pick up some of the slack. Hannah Ramos comes out, and coming in is Caitlin Walsh for the Hawks. Baltez will grab possession, get it over to Hampton. Kayla Hampton, the junior goalkeeper, haven't said her name too much. Touched the ball a couple times in this match. Is an outlet. Yonahara finds Narvarte. Narvarte taken down. And that'll draw a foul and a free kick for the Hawks. And he's going to take it. It looks like it'll be Hernandez. Yeah, Frampton was inching toward it, but they're going to send Taylor Hernandez out to it. She's got a cannon. That's another thing. Anytime you have a free kick or corner kick, Hernandez can really unload. Let's see where she goes with this. Coach Roisin Ellison telling Yonahara to move forward. Here's the shot by Hernandez. Chip just over the crossbar. Good effort there by Hernandez, but just over that crossbar. Tried not to do too much with it, but even still, wind kind of was going in that direction and just carried it a little bit forward. But you can definitely tell she was trying to measure that one up and not just blast it into the backstop. But same effect, no goal. A good effort. Walsh, Seeley, and Hernandez playing keep away for the moment. Over to Torbenson. Two defenders on Torbenson, then stolen away. Torbenson looks to get it back. It's pushed out of bounds by Julia Ash. It'll be a Hawk throw in for Annika Torbenson. She's looking for an outlet here, and she'll go back upfield to Baltez. Baltez to Frampton. Now Seeley to Narvarte. That one rolls out of bounds. That'll be a Warriors throw on the far side. No one lined up for subs at the moment, so we're coming up on the 10-minute mark. Illinois Tech out in front 4-0. A goal 1:05 into the match, and then the Hawks continue to add on. Warriors having a tough time breaking into the Hawks zone offensively, as the Hawks possession game has them on the back of their heels. Let's see if they're able to turn that around here in the final 9.5 minutes. At least get some momentum going into halftime. Allie Murray with the ball. Up to Seeley. Seeley settles it down, takes it wide. Now Kayla Smith. Smith leaving it for Yonahara on the back line. Goes out, and goal kick for the Warriors. Winner of this game will play on Wednesday. The Hawks win, they will host as Allie Murray will check out, and coming in for Murray is Rachel Fujimori, who had her first career goal scored in the game against Rockford last Wednesday. An exciting moment for Rachel, as this is her senior season, although she missed a couple years with injury. Here's Hernandez up high to Fujimori. Trying to feed it into Walsh. Warriors got on top of that one, but the Hawks get it back. Seeley, spin move, finds Walsh, who takes it wide, and then punched out of there. I think that was Canas, who was moving that one wide. It'll be a corner kick for the Hawks and Kayla Smith. A couple more subs queuing up for Illinois Tech at the next opportunity, but first the corner. Lofting towards the box, headed by Baltes, but that'll go wide. And now coming in, Gabby West and Joanne Porter. Joe Porter, Gabby West. Lena Yonahara will come out with West taking over. And then Joe Porter replacing Kayla Smith. So Coach Roshane Ellison able to get most of his starters, with the exception of Baltes and Frampton, the center backs, and obviously Kayla Hampton in net. Ball headed down by Fujimori to Caitlin Walsh. Walsh trying to feed Torbenson. Hernandez just went over that sideline, so that'll be a Warriors ball. A couple more substitutions coming in now for the Warriors. Grace Konzak and Jenna Szymborski. And checking out will be O'Neill and Zastro. Anna Ruchty with the throw right near midfield, looking for an outlet. She gets it into Camaras. Hawks regain possession. Baltes over to Frampton. Swing it wide. There's Gabby West trying to track that one down, but it'll roll out of bounds. West heads that one over the midfield stripe into Warriors territory. Fujimori had the ball taken away, fighting to get it back, but the Warriors retain possession. Here's Erickson. Erickson trying to get a through ball over there to Konzak, but Baltes was in on the play and feeds it over to Hampton. Hampton to Frampton. Over to Gabby West. That one's going to roll out of bounds. That's where I'll do my shout out to the West family. Checking in. Talked about that earlier in the season. Gabby, a huge Yankees fan. Probably wasn't riveted with the Dodgers Blue Jays World Series, but it was a great World Series. Me personally, I was rooting for the Blue Jays because I'm tired of the Dodgers. Much to the chagrin of our camera person. Frampton heads it down, and then West punches it upfield to Avery Seeley. Seeley, Walsh, and West, kind of all partners in crime there, came in the same year. The juniors. Frampton upfield. And now Joe Porter. Joe Porter finds West. West tries to push it through. Punch back upfield by Wisconsin Lutheran. They look to get it deeper into Hawk territory, but Baltez over on that far side is able to grab it down. Here's Baltez. West to Frampton, back to Baltez. Baltez now to Caitlin Walsh. Taylor Hernandez near side to Seeley. Seeley leaves it for Walsh. Oh, just tried to feed it in. Not sure if she was going for Porter or Narvarte, but wasn't in there enough. The Warriors snuffed it out. Now they'll look to clear. Ruckty up along the near side. And upfield by Ash. That'll roll out of bounds. It'll be an Illinois Tech throw for Annika Torbenson. Torbenson, Fujimori back to Torbenson. Now Frampton. Narvarte. Leaving it for Porter. Here's Narvarte. Cross towards the box. That's chipped out of there. Intended for Seeley, but getting in on that one was Ellie Erickson. Oh, looks like they was the foul there. So it'll be a free kick for the Hawks. And Gabby West will go over there to take it. Looking into the sun, towards the box. Chip shot towards the box. And we got a whistle. It looks like we're going to do it again. Gabrielle West laying it on the ground. A kick on the way. That one high to Seeley, heads it towards the box. The Warriors headed out of harm's way for the moment. Now West chips it back towards the box where Porter taps it down. Porter battling for it, spinning. Tried to get the shot, and that one went off of Sophie Canas. That'll be a corner kick. So now West getting a workout over there on that far corner. Now an actual corner kick. 45 seconds remaining. Let's see where West goes with this one. She's with the wind. Low line drive to the top of the box. Warriors chip it out. Headed back by Torbenson. It'll go wide. Down to 30 seconds. That one will go out. It'll be a throw for Walsh and the Hawks. West chipping it towards Narvarte. Knocked back out of there. As we're down to 14 seconds. West will have another throw. Just kind of take the air out of the ball here, I would imagine.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Chipping it towards the box as Hernandez gets in there, but Schrader picks it up. And at the end of one half, it's Illinois Tech 4 and Wisconsin Lutheran 0. We'll take an audio break. When we're back, we'll give you some updates from around the NACC in the women's soccer quarterfinal matches that are taking place today. This is the late game on the schedule, so we'll get you some of those scores here when we come back. Illinois Tech leading 4-0 as we enter halftime here in the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference women's soccer quarterfinal. Back here at Stuart Field, Illinois Tech holds a 4-0 lead over the Warriors as we get ready for second half play. Let's go over those first half statistics. 4-0 Illinois Tech. Goals scored Hannah Ramos, Kayla Smith, a pair by Kelly Hitchcock. Hitchcock has a pair of assists, so she's got 2 goals and 2 assists. She's factored in every goal. Also assists by Tavessa Vathalia and Lena Yonahara on the Hitchcock goals. Hawks outshot the Warriors 15-0 in that first half. Hawks had 6 corner kicks. 7 saves made by Sam Schrader, the Warriors goalkeeper. There is a goalkeeper change for Illinois Tech, so in for the Hawks is, I think that's Katia Blotnick, number 0. Hawks inside here is Hitchcock trying to feed it inside the box, but the Warriors were able to squelch that opportunity. I'll switch my rosters around since they changed positions on the field. Hawks going left to right. The Warriors right to left. Yeah, so it is Katia Blotnick in net now for Illinois Tech. She takes over net minding duty for Kayla Hampton. We talked about that at the beginning of the broadcast. Here's Hitchcock, and we're going to get an offsides against Illinois Tech. Is that in games like these, sometimes just Hampton really doesn't see a whole lot of action or traffic, and that bore out there in that first half. And so a lot of times during the season, Coach Ellison was able to get multiple goalkeepers into the games. Front pocket, should be the front pocket, that one. Or no, yeah. Sun setting early here now at the time change. Well, you see a little in-between light here as we have the lights on, but still sunlight here, so we'll kind of deal with that lighting situation here as we progress. You can see some of the players shielding their eyes, anything coming from the west side. Murray comes out with it, feeds it into Vathalia. Vathalia gets tripped, and that'll be a foul on the Warriors. Mary Frampton will just tap it into play to Yonahara. Lena Yonahara. Now to Frampton. There's Gabby Baltez. We talked about those scores from around the NACC in women's soccer. Edgewood edged Marion 1-0. Here's Grace Yeager inside, and Schrader comes out to scoop that one up. So 1-0 win for Edgewood. MSOE defeated Aurora 3-0. And Dominican, get that score. They were winners, and they will actually play the winner of this game as Dominican defeated Concordia, Wisconsin 2-1. So Dominican waits for the winner of this game. They're the 4 seed. And then Edgewood will be at MSOE on Wednesday, a 7 p.m. game there. And it'll be a 7 p.m. game for Dominican versus Illinois Tech. Be at Dominican if it's Wisconsin Lutheran. Corner kick for Illinois Tech. Kayla Smith in that near corner. Wind is actually going right to left right now. Kick by Smith. Batted down and pushed upfield by the Warriors. Yonahara tries to track it down. Now Frampton. There's a race. Brooke Bloom trying to get in there. The Hawks will have possession with the throw-in. It's Lena Yonahara. One goes out, it'll be Warriors ball. Hitchcock settles the ball down for Illinois Tech, gets it to Murray. Now Grace Yeager. Through ball, finds Vathalia. The Warriors trying to push it outside the zone. Elena Zastro. It goes out of bounds. That'll be throw in for Wisconsin Lutheran right about midfield over along that far side. Yeager comes out with it. And she's taken down. Be a foul on the Warriors. Hawks quickly get the ball in play. Yonahara in the center circle. Just on the edge, finds Ramos. Now Mary Frampton. Kayla Thomas up high to Murray. Murray to Hitchcock. Kelly Hitchcock with a pair of goals and 2 assists. Here in her first postseason action in a couple years. And she's taken down. No call there. Much to the dismay of our shirtless crowd over on the far sideline. Baltez battling. She gains possession. Over to Yonahara on the near side. Now Kayla Thomas cuts down from midfield into the circle, through the circle to Hitchcock, who swings it back up high to Grace Yeager. Ramos. Hitchcock. Hitchcock has a lane. Trying to get through. Hitchcock. Save made by Schrader. Kelly wasn't able to get a whole lot on it, but she got that left foot through and put it on net. Schrader had to come up and make the save. Now Schrader will give it a boot into Hawks territory where Mary Frampton settles it down. Up to Lena Yonahara. Kayla Thomas cutting in. Thomas sidesteps a defender, steps back, and drops it to Frampton. Here's Allie Murray. Kayla Smith. Smith back to Yonahara. Yonahara will throw it towards the net. It got deflected into Schrader. And Zastrow got a piece of that one. It went into Schrader. Try and Vathalia slips. She might have been the intended recipient for that ball. Allowed the Warriors a chance to push it up high. That ball is going to sail over the back line. Be a goal kick for Schrader and the Warriors. Just actually hand it off. Pushed upfield. Brooke Bloom racing for it along with Gabby Baltez. Baltez gets there first, and she'll swing it to Katia Blotnick. Back to Baltez. And so even when you get a chance to make a play on Illinois Tech inside their defensive zone, you have to get around 16 in red, and that's not an easy task. Talked about two-time Defensive Player of the Year, and she was in a foot race there with Brooke Bloom. There's Frampton on the near side. Baltez comes up from the midfield stripe. Now Murray through the circle. Frampton near side. To Ramos. Now to Thomas. Up high to Frampton. Mary Frampton. Frampton tried to get that one through to Ramos. Gets it back. Now Ramos has it. Can't see on that back line there. Thrown towards the box. Warriors push it out. Hawks get it back. Frampton to Ramos. Ramos to Hitchcock. Hitchcock will take it wide. Now to Yeager. Grace Yeager. Inside to Vathalia. Back to Yeager. Just got too much on it on the return. Tapped it forward, and Schrader was able to get there before Yeager could make a play on it. We get a maze of players battling for it. That'll be a foul on Illinois Tech. We'll take a pause here. And we're back. We're trying to get the camera lightened up so you can see some of the action as we're in that in-between mode with sunlight and darkness here. But Schrader made a big save on Vathalia, and then the loose rebound there, Kayla Thomas sent that one over the backstop onto 31st Street. Still 4-0. We're under 30 minutes to go in the second half. 29-17 to be exact. There's Gabby Baltez through the circle. Finds Hitchcock. Hitchcock to Grace Yeager. Smith to Yeager. Finds Vathalia. Swings it wide, but intercepting that one was Tegan O'Neill. Pushes it forward. Here is Brooke Bloom. That ball will roll out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Yonahara and the Hawks. And Kayla Thomas checking out. Coming in is Avery Seeley for Illinois Tech. Our first substitution for the Hawks here in the second half. Hitchcock taking it wide over to Smith. Kayla Smith cutting in. Smith. Good defensive effort there by Sophie Canas. It'll result in a corner kick for Kayla Smith. Actually, no, it's a throw. They put it in the corner, but it's a throw for Grace Yeager. Yeager goes up high, loops it, finds Vathalia. Knocked down by Seeley. Her shot was blocked and pushed out of there by the Warriors. Yeager puts it back inside. Yeager free. Oh, she was trying to feed that one. Inside, it comes wide where Yonahara plays it. Lena Yonahara back up high to Murray. Murray releases to Mary Frampton. Back to Murray. Finds Hitchcock. Hitchcock still maintains possession. Looking for an outlet. Sends it wide to Vathalia. Vathalia and Ramos. Vathalia chips it, but it's going to go over the back line and out. That'll be a goal kick for, no. They're going to say that's a corner. So corner for Illinois Tech. That one sails over the net, and substitution for the Warriors. Re-entering the game is Emma Adama, replacing Grace Konzak. Warriors look to clear, unable to. Chip towards the box. Schrader was there as Ramos got that shot off. Schrader able to make the stop and gives it a boot towards the circle. Ball is chipped forward by Allie Murray. Now Hitchcock tracks it down. Kayla Smith. Cross to Yonahara. Yonahara to Vathalia. Now Ramos. Yonahara. Mary Frampton up high. Frampton to Ramos. Pushed out of there by Zastro. The Hawks get it right back. Yonahara finds Hitchcock. Vathalia with the cross. Punched out of there by the Warriors. And punched back upfield by O'Neill. Blotnick came out with an onrushing Brooke Bloom and pushed that over to the far side. The Hawks look to quickly go in transition here. Kayla Smith dancing on that far sideline. That's pushed out. That'll be a throw for Grace Yeager and the Hawks. Substitutions. Hannah Ramos out, Eva Narvarte in, and then for the Warriors, 14, 20, and 21, Peyton Schiebel, Eva Colliard and Ava Zarling coming in, and coming out, Zastro, Comaris, and Erickson for the Warriors. Seeley. Ball is thrown over to the far sideline. That'll head out. Now back to Blotnick. Blotnick to Mary Frampton. Here's Yonahara to Hitchcock. Tap to Frampton. Now to Yonahara. Feeding it inside to Vathalia. Hitchcock. Back to Yonahara. Has a little room in front of her. Trying to squeeze that one into Seeley. But the Warriors were able to collapse on that one. Push it upfield. Here's Zarling. Inside Hawks territory. Grace Yeager will play it. Over to Lena Yonahara. Yeager over the midfield stripe. Narvarte. Back to Yeager, back to Narvarte. Yonahara. Inside Seeley. Pass to Smith. Yonahara. And that one goes wide. Substitution. We're going to get a goalkeeper change for the Warriors. As coming in will be junior Callista Street. Replacing Schrader here with 21 and a half minutes in the second half. It's Street. She'll start things off here with a goal kick. Upfield, Hitchcock knocks it down. Throw in by Yonahara. She'll take it towards the back line. Cross attempt. Narvarte picks it up. Sends it top of the box. Yeager and Murray both were looking to intersect there. And that kind of gummed up the play. The Hawks will have to regroup. Back to Yonahara on the near side. Finds Vathalia. Tavessa Vathalia cuts inside. Top of the box. Chips it towards the box. Save made. Rebound. Scooped up by Callista Street. So Street with a save, giving up a rebound, and then able to recover. Hawks unable to cash in on that opportunity there. Trying to test out the new goalkeeper for the Warriors. Baltez on the far side. Get it all the way over to Frampton right in center. Up high to Murray. Murray, that one went behind Emma Adema. Back to Vathalia from Hitchcock. That one rolls out. And it'll be a goal kick for the Warriors. Substitution for Illinois Tech. It's Taylor Hernandez. We'll check in for Tavessa Vathalia. So one freshman for the other. Keep an eye on number 11 for the Hawks. Hawks have possession. Narvarte over to Yeager, but cut off. Good job by Anna Ruckty again. We've mentioned her name several times for the Warriors. Throw in for Wisconsin Lutheran along that far sideline. Bloom. And she is taken down. That'll be a foul on Yeager, I believe. Be free kick coming for Wisconsin Lutheran. This is one of their better opportunities of the day. See if they're able to capitalize. Towards the box. Baltez heads it out of danger, and then Smith punches it upfield, so Warriors weren't able to get anything inside there. They only had one person in the vicinity, which was Ava Zarling. As that ball goes out, it'll be a throw-in for the Warriors' far sideline. Headed back upfield by the Hawks. Out of bounds, Illinois Tech ball. And coming in for Illinois Tech, Annika Torbenson will replace Grace Yeager. Over on the left back position. $16:55 remaining in the match. We're in the second half. Frampton will swing it to Yonahara towards the near sideline. She'll cut back inside and drop it to Frampton. Upfield they go. Kayla Smith. Smith and Yonahara looking for a little give and go. Too far out in front, and the Warriors intercept. That was Ginny Shade, but her ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in. And what do we have here? Be a throw-in for Yonahara. Smith finds Seeley. Now Narvarte. To Smith, trying to find Hernandez. Warriors knocked it out of there. Hawks get it back. Torbenson. Now Taylor Hernandez on the far sideline. Looking for an outlet. Finds Hitchcock. Hitchcock has Yonahara to her left. That's where she went with it. Yonahara. Smith chasing for it on the back line. Keeps it in. Back to Yonahara near sideline. Up high to Frampton. Feeding it inside to Seeley. Seeley to Murray. Murray swings it to Torbenson. Just to try and settle that one down. A pair of defenders. She goes down, and now Bloom centers it over to Adema. Bloom battling, but Yonahara slips. They get a foul there. Okay. That looked like one of the better efforts there for the Warriors. Weren't able to get it on net. Torbenson will drop to Baltez. Baltez and Frampton have both played the entirety of the match from their center back positions for the Hawks. Warriors putting on a little more concerted effort, push it into the Hawks zone. And that's another foul on the Warriors. Baltez finds Frampton. Seeley trying to feed it to Smith. Kayla Smith, near side. She's got a lot of room in front of her. Smith cuts to her left, cuts inside. Kayla Smith chipped towards the box. And Callista Street able to scoop that one up. Murray puts it back inside Warrior zone. Taylor Hernandez. She's going to wind up. Shot! Knocked down by Street. There's that foot we talked about of Taylor Hernandez. Going to fire that one on target, and Street was able to pull that one down. Mary Frampton over center. Now Kayla Smith with a little room. Smith feeding it inside to Hernandez, trying to get that right foot free, and then her left changes right to left, but her shot was blocked. Hawks inside the zone, feeding it to Seeley, chipped on that, score! Avery Seeley from Taylor Hernandez. The Hawks go up 5-0. It'll be a pair of subs for Wisconsin Lutheran as 15 and 19 come in for 17 and 13.
Assisted by number 11, Taylor Hernandez.
So Avery Seeley with the goal with the assist from Taylor Hernandez. The Hawks go up 5-0. And a slew of substitutions as Allie Murray checked out. Rachel Fujimori checked in. We'll have a few more come in for Illinois Tech. Joe Porter, Gabby West, and Caitlin Walsh all queued up for the Hawks at the next opportunity. Down to 11.5 minutes remaining here in the second half. 5-0 Illinois Tech. Avery Seeley getting a tally there. That's the only goal so far here in the second half. Baltez Right foot upfield off of Hernandez. And subs coming in now for the Hawks. Joe Porter, Gabby West, and Caitlin Walsh. Coming out, Kayla Smith, Lena Yonahara, and Kelly Hitchcock. Hawks have the ball on that far sideline. Here's West. Feeding it to Seeley. Seeley with a little space. Over to Porter. Porter on the near sideline. Splits a pair of defenders. Gets around another defender. Feeds it up high. Shot by Seeley. Into the hands, not a whole lot on that one, but into the hands of Callista Street. Good play there by Porter, though, getting around multiple defenders and then feeding it to Seeley. Just wasn't able to get a whole lot on it, but got it on net. Here's Gabby West. Caitlin Walsh now to Porter. On a bounds, Illinois Tech ball. Throw in for West. She'll bring it up high. Now to Seeley. Has to settle that ball down. Over to Frampton. Over to West. West to Walsh. That goes over the back line. Goal kick for Wisconsin Lutheran and Callista Street. 9:05 to go. 5-0 lead for Illinois Tech in this second half, the NACC Women's Soccer Tournament quarterfinal. The score holds up. Illinois Tech will host Dominican here on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, Edgewood would play at MSOE on Wednesday night. Here's Seeley, left foot shot. That one moved out of there. Porter taken down, no call. And going to get a corner kick, I believe, for Illinois Tech here. And it'll be Gabby West to take the corner. Wind has settled down a little bit. It's still blowing right to left. Shouldn't have much impact on Gabby's kick here. Kick's on the way. Towards the box. Knocked down by Street. And then she had to run back to scoop it back up. And she'll give it a boot here. Street towards the circle. Frampton will play it down. Swings it to West. Here's Joe Porter. Inside to Narvarte. Gonna feed it to Seeley. Cleared. And a throw in for West and the Hawks right near that near corner. West pushes it upfield to Frampton. Frampton back to West. All fed inside. Walsh to Seeley. Spin around move. Hernandez tried to get the shot through. That was blocked. Good work by the Hawks to get it in. Hernandez unable to get that ball on net, but not without the effort there as she tried to swing around and get that left foot free. Torbenson to Narvarte. Gabby West. West will spin it back upfield to Frampton. Now Caitlin Walsh. Inside missing connection there with Hernandez. Warriors will push the ball upfield, or try to. Hernandez tracks it down. Good battle. Hernandez comes out with it. Right foot chip shot. That was knocked out of there by the Warriors. Now, 11 in red is not going to be shy about putting a shot towards the net. There's Fujimori crossing it up high to West. West with the shot. Oh, it hits the crossbar. Gabby West sized that one up, but hit the crossbar. She had a goal in that last game against Rockford. She almost had one here, but it hit the crossbar. But a good effort by 3. Down to 5 minutes remaining. 5-0 Illinois Tech. They'll let that one roll over the back line. That'll be a goal kick for the Warriors. Ball angles towards the far sideline. Torbenson will track it down. Shot by Hernandez doesn't get through. They'll play along the far sideline. Be an Illinois Tech throw. Couple more subs for Illinois Tech. It's Abby Cooley and Caroline Bach checking in. Checking out will be Avery Seeley and Eva Narvarte. So Bach and Cooley come in. .312 to go. Here's Gabby Baltez. Will send it back to Blotnick. Blotnick will push it back to Baltez. Gabby Baltez over the midfield stripe. Finds Bach. Bach in a battle there with Peyton Schiebel. Schiebel comes up with it, but then Fujimori takes it back. Trying to feed it inside to Hernandez, but good job defensively by the Warriors. I think that was Ginny Shade who cleared that one out of there, as we have a host of substitutions now coming in for Illinois Tech. Sophia Arntz, Yasmi Siopsis, Mackenzie Dowd, Sophia Rodriguez Majed, and Maddie Pelfrey. Pelfrey coming in for Gabby West. Coming out is West, Torbenson, Frampton, Walsh, looks like Baltez is the only one who'll play the full 90 minutes. No surprise there. Here's Pelfrey. Cuts inside, outside. Then swings it to Sophia Arntz. Arntz now to Porter. Porter spins. Arntz trying to feed it back inside. It's knocked upfield. We're down to a minute remaining. Here's Pelfrey on the near side.
1 minute remaining. 1 minute.
5-0 lead for Illinois Tech as the final minute will tick down. Coach Ellison emptied out the bench here for the most part. And again, Gabby Baltes, the only one going the distance. That one crossed towards the box, headed down. Good effort there by the Warriors. They're going to get a late corner kick here. As they're down to 30 seconds, trying to get a digit on the board here to close things out. Good effort. Corner kick coming with 21 seconds remaining. Long shot, headed, and it's in. Is it in? It is a goal. So on the corner kick, Warriors get it. I think it's 9. Ginny Shade, 9. Wait. So the goal coming in the final 20 seconds or so, it's Ginny Shade off the corner from Peyton Schiebel. And Illinois Tech wins 5-1, but Wisconsin Lutheran able to get a goal there in the final seconds off a corner kick. Schiebel with a nice kick. And then Ginny Shade able to put that in the back of the net. So the Warriors do not get shut out. And that's their second goal ever against Illinois Tech coming in the NACC quarterfinal. But Illinois Tech wins 5-1, and they advance to the NACC semifinal. They'll take on Dominican Wednesday night at 7 p.m. right back here at Stuart Field. Well, that'll do it here from Stuart Field. Again, your final score, Illinois Tech 5, Wisconsin Lutheran 1. Wisconsin Lutheran completes their season. They finish with a record of 7-7-3 overall. The Hawks improved to 17-1-1, and again, they'll take on Dominican. They'll host Dominican here Wednesday night at Stuart Field. This is Eric Willowite saying so long, and we'll see you back here Wednesday night for NACC semifinal action on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network.